Broadcasting live from somewhere in the Shadow Realm, this is YuGiOh Duel Links Talk. Here's your host, Doug Dimmaduel.
Hey there, and welcome to another episode of YuGiOh Duel Links Talk. Today, we're going to take a look at another one of the structure decks that have recently been released as of the 4th of July of 2017, and that's Sorcerer's Alliance. Now, this deck can be yours for 500 gems, but your purchase limit is 1, or you could purchase it for $3.99 cash. So if you have $4 on you, feel free to purchase one of these, or I think if you want multiple copies, you have to use cash and not gems, if my understanding is correct. So what I want to do is go through some of these cards and see what you end up getting. Some of these cards may be a bit familiar, some of them, some of them may be new. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the super rare card that you have here, and that's Trance, the Magic Swordsman. It's a level 6 spellcaster, plain vanilla, 2600 attack, 200 defense. Pretty strong card for a 1 tribute monster, so I mean, I'll take that. Of course, its defense is lacking, but if you're going for a high attack, and of course it's a spellcaster, pair this up with Yami or the Power of Dark skill that Yugi has, and you're going to have a pretty formidable level 6 monster. It is an Earth type, so just keep that in mind too. Next, you have a rare dark monster, a man with I don't know how to pronounce this, a man with YuGiOh. So it's a level 4 spellcaster, 1600 attack, 1600 defense. When you normal summon this card, and during each of your standby phases, select one set card on your opponent's side of the field, pick it up and look at it, then return it to its original position. So this is just a good way to see what's going on your opponent's side of the field. You know, maybe you're not too certain if there's a trap card that you think could be Mirror Wall or something like that, and you just want to be 100% certain. Boom, just activate a man with YuGiOh, level 4 monster here, and use that effect to go see what's under your opponent's back row. Next, we have another rare, Magic Undertaker. It's a level 2 spellcaster, flip, 400 attack, 400 defense. Its flip effect is you can target one level 4 or lower spellcaster type monster in your graveyard and special summon that target. So this is pretty good as far as just a kind of a Monster Reborn type thing built into this card. So you're able to, as long as it's level 4 or lower, which I think you would run quite a few in this type of deck, this is a good way to recycle some of those monsters. Like the next one that we're looking at here, Neo the Magic Swordsman. Level 4, plain vanilla spellcaster, 1700 attack, 1000 defense. It's a spellcaster, so Magical Undertaker would be useful for getting Neo the Magic Swordsman back out of your graveyard and back onto the field if you need to. So that's a pretty good combo right there. Next card we have is a rare Spell Wall. It's a spell card where you activate one of these effects. Your opponent takes no further damage this turn. The first effect is, during this turn, no summon of a spellcaster type monster can be negated, and when a spellcaster type monster is summoned, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects. The second one is, target one spellcaster type monster you control. If it attacks this turn, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. So that's a pretty good card. It's got multiple uses. See which effect works better depending on the situation. I love those kind of cards where you have options. That just, it's a pretty good utility spell card to use. Next, we have your standard Book of Secret Arts. It's an equip spell card. You equip a spellcaster type monster with this card, and it increases its attack and defense by 300 points. So pretty good boost to any of your spellcasters. You attach that to a Neo the Magic Swordsman, it's going to have a 2000 attack, but also if you have Yami out on the field, you're looking at a 2200 attack. So overall, I mean, you could really power up these level 4 monsters pretty easily if you have Book of Secret Arts, as well as using Power of the Dark, Yugi's skill. Next, we have another rare. This is a trap card, Destructive Draw. It's a continuous trap where if either player has no cards in their hand at the start of their draw phase, they could draw one more card in addition to the normal draw. This card's controller loses 700 life points during their end phase. If less than 700, they become 0 instead. When this face-up card is removed from the field, inflict 3,000 damage to the player who controlled it. So, if you're trying to move through your cards and you know that you're putting a whole lot of stuff onto the field and you're going to have a pretty empty hand, Destructive Draw is a good card to use to keep on adding, just that additional draw that maybe could push you over the edge and really help defeat your opponent. So, not a bad card to use. It's got a little bit of risk to it, but, I mean, hey, it may be worth it depending on the situation. Next, we have another trap card. This one is Soul Rope. When a monster you control is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, except during the damage step, pay 1,000 life points. Special summon one level 4 monster from your deck. So this one's pretty cool. I mean, it comes with that cost of the 100 life points, but what you're able to do is really pick out the card that you want. So say, for example, you had a weaker monster that got destroyed, but you want to get, say, one of your YuGiOh, the Magic Swordsman, out onto the field. Pay the 1,000 life points, summon it from your deck, and you got a 1,900 attack power monster. Granted, you have Power of the Dark as your skill. But yeah, this is just a pretty good card to have. It keeps monsters on your field, so yeah, can't complain about that. And then potentially that could set you up for a play where you could then you could tribute that monster that you got back out onto the field to summon Trance the Magic Swordsman, and then have a really powerful monster on the field. So there's ways to take advantage of Soul Rope. This is a pretty good trap card if it's used correctly. Next we have Ready for Intercepting. It's another trap card. It's a rare. Target one warrior or spellcaster type monster on the field. Change that target to face down defense position. So you notice that it says target one warrior or spellcaster type monster. It doesn't say on your opponent's side of the field. It doesn't say on your side of the field. So what it means is you could target any warrior or spellcaster type monster. So if you just used Magical Undertaker's effect and you just flipped it face up, you could use this trap card, Ready for Intercepting, to flip it face down, and potentially next turn use the effect again. So yeah, this is a great card to have if you're running spellcasters and warriors that have flip effects, or if you're looking to if your opponent is also running spellcasters that maybe you don't want to see in face-up attack position. Flipping them face down in defense position can set you up for your next play. So yeah, really good card in more ways than one, so you get some pretty good use out of it. Next rare you have here is Rope of Life. It's another trap card. When a monster is destroyed by battle and sent to your graveyard, discard your entire hand. It has to be a minimum of 1. Then target one of those monsters. Special summon it, and if you do, it gains 800 attack. So it's kind of one of those all or nothing plays. And if you only have one card in your hand anyway that you're not really using, this is a great card to activate, and not only that, but bring back your monster and give it a power boost. So yeah, Rope of Life can be good. It's another just situational type card. So now we have another monster, the Illusory Gentleman. It's a level 4 spellcaster, 1,500 attack, 1,600 defense, just a plain vanilla card. So that kind of rounds things out. That one's just a normal, but as far as volume of cards go, for Trance the Magic Swordsman, you do get 1 copy of it. For a man with Wajat, you do get 2 copies of it. You get 2 copies of Magical Undertaker, 3 copies of YuGiOh the Magic Swordsman, which is pretty nice, 2 copies of Spell Wall, 2 copies of Book of Secret Arts, 1 copy of Destructive Draw, 1 copy of Soul Rope, 1 copy of Ready for Intercepting, 2 copies of Rope of Life, and 3 copies of the Illusory Gentleman. So you do get a pretty good array of cards here. Again, if you want multiples of some of the cards that only just came as 1 or 2, you're going to have to probably shell out some money to purchase the structure deck. But thankfully, it's only $3.99. This one is pretty good. I mean, I really like some of the cards that are in here. I do run some spellcaster type decks, so some of these cards can be very, very useful. So if you're working on a deck using the structure deck as more of a base, or if you use some of the pieces in some of your other decks, I'd like to hear about it and see what your takes on it are, see if we could get some ideas out here, because I do want to come back and revisit this topic and at least get some more fresh takes on which cards you could utilize more so than others. And I kind of have a good idea based off of what we were just looking at, but I'd like to see your take as well. So if you do have your thoughts on it, feel free to reach out on Twitter at YuGiOh Deck Talk. That's all one word, at YuGiOh Deck Talk. And we'll definitely talk about this topic again. So anyway, that's it for today's episode. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Take care.